Do not let your fire go out, spark by irreplaceable spark, in the hopeless swamps of the not quite, the not yet, and the not at all. Do not let the hero in your soul perish in lonely frustration for the life you deserved and have never been able to reach. The world you desire can be won. It exists. It is real. It is possible. It's yours. This quote is from Ayn Rand. Ayn Rand, no longer alive, is the author of two very famous books, The Fountainhead and Atlas Shrugged. She is also a philosopher. Many in academia and the philosophy community look down upon Ayn Rand and objectivism as a philosophy. It's sort of poo-pooed. Oh, this is not quite. This is something, some sort of exception. It's not something you can actually live by. It is inhuman. It is rough. If you haven't read her books, go read them for yourself. Go read them for yourself. Ayn Rand and her objectivist philosophy and her books have inspired many millions of people. And what she was trying to capture in her work was a consistent and, in my opinion, symmetrical, almost in a mathematical sense, philosophy, way of looking at life. Ayn Rand was also an idealist, so she wanted to express and discover and define what is it that makes an ideal man? What is the ideal man? Who is the ideal man? And so she sought to express that in her work, something for us to aspire to. And as I read the words and reread the words even today, I find it is something idealistic. It's also something hopeful. There's a reason also why many business leaders, founders, CEOs, why her ideas resonate so much with them. If you don't know, go check out the literature. I'm not going to get into it too much in this video. Instead, I'm going to focus more on this quote and you. In business, to succeed, whether you're a founder, a marketer, a CEO, sometimes you just have to stand alone, especially in the early days of a company. You're going to have to fight for what you know is true. You're going to have to fight for the life and the business that you want to achieve. And some of the worst moments that you might face, you might not even have the luxury of haters or the luxury of something to brace against. You might be completely alone. You might have apathy as the only thing to brace against, and that can be difficult. You might have comfort. Comfort. Sometimes, especially in the early days of a business, having something that is very uncomfortable or even embarrassing, in, you know, even just internal insecurity to brace against it, to fight, to overcome, anger. This can be a good thing, something to brace against, something to move you forward. I need to prove them wrong. I need to prove myself right. I need to build my self-esteem. These are all tools. These are all tools in your tool belt. In my early years as a startup founder, anger drove me a lot. I had people in my family who were against me. They said I was lazy and unambitious. Over the years, though, that anger has faded for the most part. It was a more it was a very underneath the anger was more of a question like, why couldn't you just believe in me? I think it's as important as people, among friends, among family, among fellow humans, for us to support each other. But that's just me saying that. Reality is going to be different. You have to fight for your own happiness, and you will often have to stand alone if you want to achieve something exceptional. And exceptional means to be an exception to the rule, to be outside of the norm. This is uncomfortable. You might be shy. You might feel like an outsider, an outcast to your social circle. Well, fuck that. Maybe you need better friends. Maybe you need no friends to move forward. To succeed, either you will stand alone at certain points, and you will probably piss some people off. I don't say do it intentionally. Don't go out there and intentionally, because you let your fucking ego get in the way and start, you know, beating your drum. No, let your actions speak for you. You're fighting for your happiness. This is not about you feeling better or superior to your fellow man. This is about you feeling superior to your former self. Because you will stand alone, and people will at times hate you. They will hate you because they ain't you. They will hate you because they envy you. Because you are making choices that they know that they could have made deep down. They could have made them in different and varied ways within their own life. But people often do not want you to do better than them. They want you to do almost as well or just as well, but not better. And certainly not significantly better. It is the rare friend who you can have in your life who will actually want you to do better than them and be happy if and when you do. It took me a long time to understand this. And you cannot confront people about this fact in their nature. It will just be denial, and you can't change them. People are who they are, and people do change, but usually only over a long period of time or when they are absolutely forced by having some sort of a metaphorical mirror held up to them in life, and you can't be the one to do it. You most certainly probably will not. It's usually going to be circumstance of some kind, something that forces them to reflect. But that's them. That is their life. You have to know who you are. You have to accept that you will stand alone, that people will hate you, because it's either that or to drown in the dark shallows of mediocrity and the path you wish you'd chosen. It's just like the quote says. You can imagine something from this quote being that's on fire, but it's being put into water and it just sizzles out. Do not let your fire go out, spark by irreplaceable spark in the hopeless swamps of the not quite, the not yet, and the not at all. Do not let the hero in your soul perish in lonely frustration for the life you deserved and have never been able to reach. It's going to be lonely. This might be the fact of the reality that you have to go through. But if you are using your mind and not just irrational intuition. Intuition can be good, it can be a very powerful thing, but sometimes it takes training, and sometimes you just might not have it, and you just have to rely on your own analysis. Tactically speaking, something that will slow down your thinking and force you to reflect. A journal. I've talked about it before. Keep a journal. Helps you to think slowly. The world you desire can be won. Ayn Rand, as an author, as a philosopher, she was precise in her words, and I like to believe that she was precise in her words here, where she used the word deserved. Deserved with the assumption that it had been earned. No one is going to give you anything, okay? But that word deserved can sometimes also mean something that is unearned. I deserve it, as in entitlement. Do not let the hero in your soul, that ideal that is inside of you, in other words, perish, die, go away, fade away in lonely frustration for the life you deserved, for the life you felt maybe you were entitled to. Maybe it's perishing for that reason. You felt that you were entitled to it because you did not buckle down and act and carry forward. Action, action, action. Decision, decision, decision. Reflection, reflection, reflection. Am I moving forward? The world you desire can be won. What you want for your life, you can achieve it. Some of us are born more lucky than others. Some of us are born into worse circumstances than others. You cannot control that. No one can control that. You have certain advantages no matter what. Even if you had a shitty upbringing, good. Use it. Use that discomfort. Use that anger. If you had a great upbringing, you were pampered, you had all this money, that was your struggle. That is the thing that you have to overcome. But everything is a double-edged sword. So perhaps it is that perspective that came with being pampered, where you didn't have to fight to earn things. There is some advantage in that. Find it. Find that advantage. Maybe it's just that, you have a different view on money, perhaps, because money was given to you by your parents. And if you were born poor, broke, destitute, and hungry, good. That is your advantage too. Make it your advantage. You can choose it to be your advantage. The world you desire can be won. It exists, it is real, it is possible, it is yours. There is something special, I believe, that each of us can achieve and can express into the world as an artist expresses color onto a canvas. Be not so obsessed with it has to be this one thing. Sometimes we are wrong-headed. Sometimes we're just going to have to stumble around to find our life's work, our life's task, as Robert Greene calls it. Robert Greene being the author of The 48 Laws of Power and the book Mastery. What is your life's task? You have one. Are you working on it? Are you certain that this is it? Are you certain that you can achieve it? Perhaps you need people on your team to compliment you. Perhaps you can do it on your own. Perhaps you can't do it at all because maybe it isn't the right task for you to work on. But move forward either way. The world you desire can be won. Do not let what is inside you that is special, that you wish to achieve for the life and the world that you want to exist. Do not let it drown in the dark shallows of mediocrity and the path you'd wish you'd chosen. Mediocrity is everywhere today at all times. The definition of exceptional, it means to be an exception, okay? To be outside of that mediocrity. You look at businesses everywhere, it has never been more easy than right now to succeed in business and in life. You look at the average doctor's office, a very commoditized industry in the US, for example, and the experience that you get going to a dentist or doctor's office, they don't give a shit about their patients. They just want to do this. They just want to milk for the insurance money because it's a business. Incentives are not aligned. They want to put you through this battery of tests, which they can just expense to the insurance company, and they most of the time, vast majority of the time, don't even need to do it. Oh, I'm coming to you with x-rays from another provider. Oh, no, we can't do that. We have to do it here. But why? I just had these x-rays done the other week. It's, you can call them if you want, you know? Oh, no, it's policy. Mediocrity is everywhere. And that is only one example. You call up a large corporation even. How's their experience? They put you through to someone on the other side of the planet who, it's fine that they're on the other side of the planet, by the way. I have a global team for my company, just to be clear. But it's just, you don't get the sense that there's caring because they're just a robot. They are being robotic, following a script. Mediocrity is everywhere. What if you could improve upon that? You could start a business to make the world a better place, to solve that. Give a better experience to your customers. You could better align incentives. It's easy to stand out. You just have to choose to care, to want it. So, what is it that you want? What do you really want? How often do you ask yourself this? Do you check in enough? What do you really want? Because if you know what you want, you also have to define the other side of that coin. Just as a sunrise on the side of a mountain, that one side is lighted and the other side is darkened. So, what is the other side of that coin? I want this, but you don't want this. So, what is it you will be willing to say no to? Who will you say no to, including in yourself? For example, the the algorithm power on social media and news sites today, it is so strong. It is so strong. There's a great incentive for it to be strong, for it to become smarter and smarter. It is designed to prey on your mind and on your time. Because with a free site, like a news site or social media, you are the product if you're not paying. And people who are also, unfortunately, becoming more and more extensions of social media, on ideas on social media, they will try to pull you down as well. And again, you're going to have to stand alone. You're going to have to say no, 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 no. I'm not going to listen to this. I'm not going to have this app on my phone. I'm going to sit in a room, if necessary, for hours and be willing to just stare at a wall. You might have to do that to break yourself of the addiction if you are addicted to things that you feel you can't say no to. Be the lone wolf if you need to be in order to become the exception. Maybe you need to be alone at this time in your life. Maybe you need better friends. To conclude, another quote from Ayn Rand is, learn to value yourself, which means fight for your happiness. Do not let your fire go out. Spark by Irreplaceable Spark. If you found this video valuable, please consider liking, subscribing, sharing it with others, and I'd love to hear from you in the comments. Thank you very much.